Good evening. Well, since I said that, Dorothy.
Good evening. I'm Darcy Mingoy, and I'm proud to serve as president of the school board. Welcome tonight to a very special evening. We are so excited to honor our spotlight teachers. We know how important you are to our schools and our students, and we treasure each and every one of you, and we can't wait to hear a little bit more about each of you tonight. I'd like to introduce my fellow board members that are here. Vice President Dr. John Ogletree. If you could stand, please. Secretary Bob Covey. Tom Jackson. Debbie Blackshear. And Don Ryan. Well, like I said, we're just delighted to honor you tonight, and we can't wait to get the program started. And to do that, I'd like to welcome Associate Superintendent Dr. Deborah Stewart. Please join me in applauding her.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening. Tonight, I have the honor and privilege of introducing the 4 2015-16 Spotlight winners for paraprofessionals and support services staff. These honorees have shown unwavering compassion and dedication to their jobs. They have exceeded the normal duties, responsibilities, expectations of their positions, and are role models for their colleagues. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce the first honoree, Elaine Tessitore, better known as Ms. T. Mrs. Tessitore is a teacher at Moore Elementary. No? Well, Mrs. Tessitore is not here tonight, but I thought that we were going to show her video. Are we? Okay, so here we go.
I love what I do. I really do. I love working with the little ones and seeing their smiling faces when they accomplish things and have a lot of fun with them. I enjoy watching them accomplish things when they get it and watching the smiles on their faces, and it's just gratifying to know that I can get there and help them out and do things with them and make it fun for them. That's what the children need, somebody that's patient and wanting them to do better and taking the time. Oh, I hope they succeed, and I know a lot of them will, because a lot of them really want to, and they can't get it right away, but when they do, it's really nice to see them get excited about it all. It makes you feel good. In fact, it's something that I didn't think I'd ever do, but when I got into it, it's so gratifying.
Our next honoree is Stephanie Bolt. Stephanie works at Postma Elementary, and she's a physical education aide.
PE Para, we assist the PE coach. We do everything they do, interact with the kids, and just go about the day with them. And they're sitting in a desk all day long and just doing math and English and everything. They need to get out there and do stuff. They don't have other sports. A lot of them don't have stuff to do outside of school. So having that activity in school allows them to kind of release their energy. My goal is to get them to like being active, to realize that there's more than just a little screen in front of them, that there's more than just the remote control and, you know, real life things that happen. I have a lot of kids that do outside activities, you know, they try to do softball or baseball. We try to go to as many as possible between Coach Woods and I. We try to split schedules. we like to go and cheer them on and definitely make contact with them, let them know that they've seen us, that we're there, and that we're supporting them. They're nervous at first, and then they end up playing like their best game because Coach Bolt's there.
Congratulations, Stephanie. Our next honoree is Philip Hofford. Philip works in the maintenance department as a heavy equipment foreman.
We take care of about 86 athletic fields. Between the grounds department, we run about 62 guys. We got, 10 baseball fields and 10 softball fields we got to take care of. And we got to cut the lips out and put the red dirt on them every year. And we take care of the elementary schools too, playground boxes. We got to set up the ag show for the ag show, It takes us about 2 weeks to set up all them pens. Plus, my job is to take care of the 2 ag barns that are existing now, where they get the calves when they're little, and you just get to watch that calf grow because they get to keep them in our facilities. The buyers get to come, and the buyers come buy their animals, and they get a check. And, it's good for a kid to get a scholarship because, it means we help them. If we can help them, that's good. The athletes, same way, we keep their fields up, and where they don't get, say if you got a good athlete, we got a bad field, he goes twist his ankle, he don't get a scholarship. Well, our deal is to keep all the practice fields good too, so they don't get hurt. I shouldn't get the honor, it should be my guys, because my guys make me look good. I can take this award and split it 62 ways, give everybody a piece of it.
Last, but certainly not least, our final honoree in this category is Todd Webster. Todd works in the maintenance department as an HVAC technician. Todd is not with us tonight, but let's enjoy his video together.
We maintain all the AC equipment, the chillers, the air handlers. If it breaks, we fix them and maintain them during the summer to keep them running. If they break down, schools get hot, kids can't learn, nobody's happy. So we gotta keep belts changed, keep drains cleared, just motors running, everything greased up and running, so we don't have many failures. I like the job, I like the people, I like what I'm doing. I like the type of equipment that I'm getting to work with, and there's so much still to learn. So it's just, you're constantly learning something new all the time. Sometimes like a superhero, I guess, because sometimes the teacher will say, everybody give him a round of applause, and so we just kind of make a big joke about it, have a little fun with it. But it feels good whenever something's broke and you fixed it, now everybody's happy. I think it's pretty cool. Just getting nominated for it, I thought to me, that was enough pat on the back. But then to get it, I was shocked to get it. I'm really, really appreciative of it.
At this time, Ms. Bolt, Mr. Hofford, will you please stand so that we can recognize you once again for your dedication and service? If you are a family member, colleague, or supporter of one of these 2 honorees, please also stand so that we may recognize you. Thank you. And now, Dr. Linda Macias, Associate Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction and Accountability, will introduce the next group of honorees. This group is our 2015-16 Spotlight Teachers. Dr. Macias.
Good evening. It is truly an honor to also welcome you tonight as we celebrate our 2015 and 16 Spotlight Teachers. This evening marks our 31st anniversary of Spotlight Teacher recognitions. We are about to introduce this year's honorees who will join Cypress-Fairbanks ISD's elite group of Spotlight Teachers, representing the very best of the best in their field. These master teachers exemplify the 5 dimensions of a portrait of a Cypress-Fairbanks teacher. They are instructional strategist, creator of student-centered environment, positive role model, lifelong learner, and team player. Our Spotlight teachers are models for their colleagues on a daily basis. They exemplify the meaning of rigor, relevance, and of relationships. In addition to tonight's ceremony, the Spotlight teachers will be recognized on October 13th at the Salute to the Stars Gala. Their photographs will be displayed at the Instructional Support Center for the next year, and their stories will be shared via the Spotlight publication on the district website and on our Channel 16 TV station. Friends and family, feel free to applaud and take all the pictures you'd like when your Spotlight teacher is called. Don't be shy about coming forward and taking those pictures. The first group of honorees that we will recognize is the instructional strategist. A Cypher teacher is an instructional strategist who, with purposeful planning, designs thought-provoking learning and assessment activities encompassing the scope of content appropriate for students' ages and aptitudes. Our first honoree in this area is Brandon Batchelor from Anthony Middle School, World Cultures teacher.
World Cultures, how I'll explain it to them is it's a class about everything, but it's also about how you interact with everything. We learn about different people's ways of life, how they live, the circumstances, but it's as much as understanding the person next to you as it is understanding yourself. Maybe they come into the room they have their ego, they have their, well, this is who I am, and I'm here for the world to accept me for who I am, and then it's kind of, hopefully by the end of the year, and I see this usually with those kids that really kind of get it and really buy in, they kind of go, well, this is the world and this is what it is, and I've got to accept it for what it is as well. And it's this, I am who I am, but there's 7 billion other people, and I got to understand that there's so much more out there than just myself. There are lots of problems that every generation deals with, and maybe they'll have a way to embrace those struggles together as opposed to maybe being divided and come together more often and meet each other and talk about them as opposed to being separated and divisive.
From Arnold Middle School, Andrew Vitek, 6th grade math teacher.
Jumped straight into teaching after college. In high school, always kind of felt like I wanted to be a teacher, just a way to give back. I felt like I had great teachers growing up, and so just seeing what they had done for me in my life, just wanted to give that opportunity to other people as well. Some days it looks different than other days, but at some point during the day in class, literally just asking like, how are you doing today? What's going on today? Kind of making that connection where maybe in other classes they might not be getting the just one-on-one attention that they might need. And so I guess when kids see that I'll go out of the way to get to know them, that whether they're really good at math or whether they're not, they're always just going to give an effort. And so at the end of the day, that's usually what I tell my kids. It's not whether we are perfect at this or not. I really don't care if you get the right answer or not. It's, did we try? Like, did you give all that you had to give? And if you answer that question yes, then you did everything I've asked you to do today. For me, growing up being really good at math, I just wanted to give kind of that opportunity to other kids just so that they could be successful. So just kind of that moment where you see a kid who just hasn't gotten anything for days and days and weeks, and then something just clicks. I don't know, that's the moment you live for.
Katie Freeman from Black Elementary School, life skills teacher.
My goal in teaching is that my students can contribute in some way to society, to their community, whether it's my classroom, friends at lunch, recess, the school, and to foster that independence so that they can be proud and contribute on their own. And as they grow, they're accepted. They are people to be respected in the community, and they have something to offer. To me, it is so important to foster that independence, to get them so they can be proud of themselves. Every day we get off the bus and they've got friends that come off other buses and meet and greet them, bring them Valentine's Day cards, birthday cards, and just to know that they're a part of that community makes every day worthwhile.
From Cypress Falls High School, Amanda Tanton, Geometry and Math Department Chair.
I love getting to introduce students to the excitement of making math real through shapes. I feel like they just came from algebra and math was all X's and math is all graphs and when am I going to use this and how is this applicable, and then they get to geometry and it's like, ooh, we get to touch shapes, we get to measure an angle with a straw and a washer and a protractor. We went outside and we looked at the top of a light post, and we all looked at the top of the same light post, but we all stood different distances away, and we looked to that straw to the top, and we got our angle of elevation. And then we stepped over foot to foot and saw how far away were we, and what was the angle of elevation, what was your height, and we used all those elements to calculate the height of the light pole. I try to relate it to, decorating and how do you center something on a wall, and okay, I need to make a ramp, and I've got, this 2x4 and this 2x4, and what's to say that this will be a right angle, and what's to say that this one will actually meet the end when I put it on there? What size would I need for that hypotenuse and that kind of thing? And I think I have a good balance of challenging them, but also sheltering them a little bit as well and helping in that transition to the scary kind of world of high school.
From the Carlton Center, Lansing Brown, Special Education Life Skills, Middle School.
I have, believe it or not, only 2 students, but they both have some pretty severe sensory processing disorders. So we are constantly moving and active and walking and jumping on a trampoline and intermittently getting our curriculum in and getting the life skills in. I look at the curriculum and I decide, okay, what can my students realistically glean from this information that will make an impact on their life? So in language arts, when we're reading a book, I pick the books based on what their peers are reading, their same age, normally developing peers are reading, so that when they have those conversations with their peers at home, with their siblings, with their cousins, when they're able to have those conversations, they can say, yeah, I read Harry Potter. If one of these students were my child, what would I want? What would I want for them? What would I need on that day? And if that's a snuggle in bed and, Mom, could you read Harry Potter to me? Or today we read about Harry Potter and he did this, that's exciting. That brings a lot of love to my heart.
Janae Dennis from Cypress Ranch High School, English 3 teacher.
The most rewarding thing that I find is that I'm always able to key in on students that maybe are scared. I have a lot of students that have been told before that maybe they're not good at English, or maybe they struggle. In second grade, I struggled with reading. I struggled with reading, and I struggled with reading in third grade and fourth grade. And there was a teacher, Miss Melba Johnson, and she pushed me. She pushed me to continue to read. She's the one that inspired my love for reading. And now I'm an English teacher, and here I am, Spotlight teacher. So I'm proof that as long as you try hard, you can overcome any obstacle that you have. And I try to instill that in my students as well. It reminds me of myself. I teach struggling students. I teach students that have struggled with passing the STAR test. I have students that have failed up to 9 and 10 times. And the look that they give you that, hey, you were right, I could pass that test. It's so fulfilling. There's nothing else like it. It's a wonderful feeling.
From Cypress Springs High School, Kelly Powell, 9th through 12th grade Spanish.
So I first learned Spanish at Cy Falls as a freshman, and I had really great teachers, and I just fell in love with it my freshman year, and I took it all the way through high school. And the one that had the most impact on me was my level 3 and level 4 teacher. Her name was Betsy Arnold, and she was the Spotlight teacher last year for the district and just retired. And she just had such a huge impact on my life as a student and as a person that when I sat there in the classroom, I just wanted to be like her. And I look at the way she treated us as students, not just as students, but as people, and with dignity and respect. You know, we never had any discipline problems or anything in our room because she kept us so busy and she kept us so engaged that we didn't have anything like that pop up. So as an adult, that's the impact that she has on me now, as I see, looking back, how she treated us. And I try to treat my students with the same dignity and respect and just general care and love that she gave to us. And so it's kind of a two-sided question, because as a student, I just saw the impact of the language and the love for it, but as an adult, I see it from a different perspective. Me encanta el tiempo con los estudiantes en la clase.
From Francone Elementary School, Dana Gentry, 3rd grade reading and language arts teacher.
There are no 2 days that are alike. I get the best of everything. They come in, I get their great days, I get their bad days. We all have days, and it's just more of I understand, but you're here at school. And they know they have to leave it at the door. I consider them, they're my family. Once you're mine, you're mine. You're mine, you're in 5th grade, you're in middle school, you're in high school. You go to football games. I've been to more baseball games, taekwondo. I want them to be successful. I want to see the things that they're going to do. Because I always tell them, one day I'm going to be an old lady. I'm going to be old, I'm going to be in a retirement community, and they're going to be the one that are making all the decisions because they're my family. I said, guys, y'all are going to have to make those important decisions one day, and I need to make sure that you don't get swindled, you don't get bamboozled. You have to really know what you're doing, and I just take it to heart.
Isabel Maghan from Gleason Elementary School, pre-kindergarten teacher.
My job is to create just a loving place that they come in with such excitement and they leave with excitement. I love my children. That's one thing. When they come in my classroom, they become my kids from the moment I see them. And I'll tell them, I'll let them know, you're part of my family, And I guess from there they see the love that we share between the children and I. I tell my husband that when I look at, there's so much joy when I take a look at every single one. It's like just thinking about that I have such big responsibility for them. It just brings tears of joy, really. just to hear them speaking, because I know that everything that they have to say is so important. A lot of times, we as parents don't take that time with our own kids, and I know that they're busy. Parents are busy, and we have to take that time. And just having them talk about just basically anything, just giving them the time. They say we're always running out of time. We always have time to spend with our kids, no matter if it's just the 30 seconds or the minute. So I will be doing as long as I can, as long as they'll have me.
Brittany Boyd, Hemingway Elementary School, 5th grade math and science.
A lot of kids, especially when you get in 5th grade and even on up until middle school, they typically think that, adults are against them and we're trying to ruin their lives. And I also tell them that math doesn't go away. So you have to do something with it eventually. It's okay to not be good at something because all of us have something that we're not good at, but that when we're not good at something, that just gives us that added motivation to work really hard. And I've had a student this year who worked really hard and it pays off, so they're excited about that once they see the end result. So I really like those kids or my students having those aha moments. Like, it's incredible to watch them at the beginning of the school year not really be able to do something, and then now they can blaze through everything. So I really enjoy that part. At the end of the school year, I think my students understand that you do genuinely care about them and that you want what's best for them. So that's where I try to get them that, you know what, you have a lot of people in your corner, and ultimately, most adults want you to do well.
From Keith Elementary School, Megan Bridenthal, 4th grade math teacher.
I want all of my kids to succeed, and so I'll tell them, when Miss Bridenthal was in school, and I kind of try to relate to when I was in school, or when I was in school, I remember that, the 9s multiplications were hard, or I remember I could never get the 6s. And I try to relay, that, when a kid gets upset, in your small group, or they're just struggling, it's like you try to boost them up. You try to, even when kids get really upset and you make a big deal out of the positive things that they do, oh, look, you got these 2 right, go get a sticker. I think about certain students in my classroom, and I'm just I'm getting emotional, but I want them to be successful, and I want them to see success, because I feel like sometimes they don't feel like they're seeing it, but they can. It's just, once again, trying to show them those good things and make a big deal out of those little things that they do right, and reaching them and making sure that they're getting the attention and the things that they need, so every day.
Jill Metke from Leader Elementary School, kindergarten teacher.
I remember that our books were like see, spot, run, and we didn't have a whole lot of options, but my kids have tons of options for books that they get to read. My biggest thing is not necessarily the material that they need to learn, but instilling a passion for learning. And really reading is my hugest thing. I want them to have a passion for reading. I have a passion for reading. And so many people just kind of put books to the side because they're playing on their tablets or they're, into TV, but I want my students, when they leave my classroom, to love books and to love to read. I feel like sometimes, especially with my kids, they may not have the easiest path to get there, but for me, I feel like reading can always be an escape for them, and a way to find their creativity and to just, have a happy moment in their day. So if they can find a book that they really love to read. It is a place that is always consistent for them, a place where they can always feel happy, that they know that I love them, and that they're gonna have a great day when they come to my classroom. That's what I want, for them to have a great day.
From Matsky Elementary School, Suzanne Taylor, 4th grade math teacher.
With math, I like to have fun. We do a lot of songs or dances or chants or movements. We do a lot of things like that to try and keep the students engaged. I just try and come up with movements or chants or songs or ways that the kids are it'll help them to remember. You know, if they're being stuck and you say, okay, now what's that song again? And you start doing it or the movements, then they'll, oh, okay. And it's kind of little helpful hints for them as they're trying to learn, or if they're stuck, you can kind of guide them without telling them. They enjoy it. They like the songs. I think they like seeing me be silly, and they know that I can't sing, and I'm like, okay, you know, I can't sing, and so they have to sing with me because they don't want to hear me. I always want the best for them. I want them to be successful. I would love for them all to love math when they leave my class, and to know that they can, and they have teachers that believe in them, know that they can.
Amy Camp from McPhee Elementary School, PPCD teacher.
In PPCD, we're offering them instruction in the academic areas, their self-help skills, being able to communicate, to be able to tell you that they need to go to the bathroom, to be able to tell their mom that they want something to eat. We are these kids' first experience with school most of the time, and a lot of them their parents' first experience with them going to school. A lot of times kids come to us with little or no language, and we have a profound responsibility to help them access the general ed setting as well as the world and be a productive member of society by helping them to grow and learn and be able to advocate for themselves. Kids with disabilities, no matter what their disability is, deserve to have somebody love them and guide them. So to know that you're impacting them and that you're making a difference is probably the greatest gift that you can get as a teacher.
Robin Banks, Millsap Elementary School, 4th grade writing teacher.
I started out wanting to be a teacher out of high school, and started taking some classes. I had a professor tell me I'm not a very good writer. So at that point I decided, no, college is not for me. I need to find something else to do. I hated my job at Compact. Looking at data all day, 50,000 records a week is a lot. And it wasn't very rewarding at all. Nobody really cared what I did. There's got to be more to life than this. So that's kind of why I went into teaching. I cried every day when I started. Literally, I cried every day. What have I done? I've made the biggest mistake of my life. This is 10 times more challenging than anything I'd ever done. I hear the cliche that, you know, if you make it 5 years, you'll stay forever, and I didn't think I was going to make it. Just something clicked. I just had to take a hard look at myself and say, am I all in, or am I going to do something else? And there's not a day that goes by that there's not a kid that I will sit down with and talk with, or a high five, or a past student come back, or see me in the neighborhood, or see me at the grocery store, Miss Banks, you know, and that's huge. That payoff, there's not a office job available that's going to give you that kind of reward. Not any job ever.
From Pope Elementary School, Amy Aguilar, 3rd grade math and science teacher.
The thing that's fun about math is that
there's so many different approaches to the answers, so it's fun to see all the creativeness come in into the thinking of ways to solve one problem, you know, the multiple ways and the way that the kids come up with their answer. I make it their favorite subject. I have a little girl, for example, this year that any chance she can, she will have her nose in a book. And she told me at the beginning of the year she wasn't very good at math, but the last report card, her highest grade was math. So she's learned to love it. And I remember teachers who never gave up on me, you know. So that passion that they had for me and the love for me, I knew that I wanted to give that to others. Your goal in life is to find your gift, and then the purpose of life is to give it away. And so I feel like my calling is to teach, to love kids, and to never give up.
Shanna Barger from Brunel Elementary School, 3rd grade self-contained teacher.
I've had a lot of parents tell me that I'm more like a mom that just knows curriculum. And that's kind of what I like to do in my class. I want it to feel like a family. There's no fussing at each other. There's no yelling at each other, me included. We don't yell. And so I feel like they're probably pretty similar. I think my kids probably get it from me, a sterner voice at home than anything my kids see in school, my student kids. It's every single kid, from the kid with the highest grades to the lowest, and in the middle, it's all of them. They're all equally important, and every day I come, I have to be my best for them. You don't ever know what you're sending your students home to. We think we know as teachers, but we don't really know because we're not in their houses with them. And it might be something they might only hear, "Good luck on your game tonight," at school, because we as parents, we get busy and we forget to say stuff to our kids. I know my kids have come home before, my kids that are home with me, not my school kids. And they've said stuff that their teachers have said that have made a difference, and I thought, did I not say that? Maybe I didn't. Maybe I'm too busy at home. So for some kids, school is the only place that they hear those things and they feel that love.
Stacy Daniels McFarland from M. Robinson Elementary School, 1st grade self-contained.
I had a great experience as a child. I was one of those behavior kids, but I remember my 1st grade teacher, Miss Broadhead, she worked with me, when everybody else, wrote me, up for just small things. Great student, talks a lot, great, speaker, but she talks a lot. Every time my communication log would be full of just bad notes. But with her, she told my mom, she said, "Don't worry." She said, "I'm gonna work with Stacy." And that's what she did, and she didn't give up on me. And I think that was the problem that I had with some of my teachers. They didn't listen. Everything that a child has to say is not always, they want to get off task. They have something to say. So if you have that time, even that extra 2 or 3 minutes, you stop and you listen. Or you can say, "Hey, do you mind holding that?" And I'll say, can you remember that? What you want to say? And we'll get back to it at the end of the day. Because everything that a child has to say is important. You never know what they experience at home. They may go home to an empty house. They don't have anybody to talk to or interact with. So that's a safe haven for them. And so I allow them to, be who they are and express themselves. And I listen, of course.
From Watkins Middle School, Callie Romero, 6th grade reading and language arts teacher.
Every student does matter, and that, every student has their strengths and their weaknesses, and me as a teacher, I need to play into those strengths and weaknesses. A lot of times they haven't never been read to, or they haven't even read a book from beginning to end. So I think reading a novel out loud to them is really cool to me. I also like interactive things like getting up and or moving around and playing music, and then they stop and they talk about an assignment, or using sticky notes to jot something down and then go stick it up on a board. My hope for them is that they learn how to, you know, be successful in the classroom, but also to be respectful, to be kind, to be passionate about something. And that might not be reading, I know that, but just to find something that is their passion, whether it be another subject or a sport or a club. That is my hope for them. My favorite thing by far is just having relationships with these kids, because these kids just need people on their side. So that's my favorite thing about it.
And from Yeager Elementary School, Tammy Hawkins, second grade reading, language arts, and social studies teacher.
They are a lot of fun, can be challenging at times, but that's why I love it. I love the challenge. They make me laugh, they make me smile, they make me cry. Being an adult is overrated. I think it's much more fun to be a kid, and I've never let go of that in myself. Like, even though I am an adult and I have responsibilities, I can still act like a kid, and that's why talking to them is easier, because I feel like I can act like them and I can be like them and be one of them. When I talk to children, I don't feel like I'm being looked at. It's more like they're, I don't know, I'm a character that they like. I'm somebody that they enjoy, and I don't feel like I have to be a certain way. I'm just me when I talk to them, and sharing my stories and my connections to books and getting them passionate about it also. It's great because it's like seeing myself. I think I liked elementary school the best, and I liked my teachers in elementary school the best. So seeing them enjoy me having fun, it's fun to see them having the same experience that I had.
Instructional strategist honorees, please stand so we can recognize you one more time. If you are a family member, a colleague, or supporter of one of these fabulous teachers, please stand to be recognized. Thank you. Roy Garcia, Associate Superintendent for School Administration and Leadership Development, will continue with the next group of teachers.
Thank you, Dr. Macias. Our next group of honorees represent the dimension of a creator of student-centered environment. A CFISD teacher is a creator of a student-centered environment who engages students by including personal connections, curiosity, challenge, and real-world applications, by activating them as workers, doers, and problem solvers, and by creating a caring, supportive environment where all are comfortable taking risks to further their learning. Our first honoree is James Chase, Alternative Learning Center East, English 1, PACE, Read 180, and Teen Leadership.
A lot of the kids don't have any hope or idea for their future. Students like to have some sort of insight into their teachers' lives, some way to connect with them. Students at ALC, a lot of them have never left, their certain area of Houston. And, I'll tell them, over the summer I went backpacking through Europe, or, I've traveled, Southeast Asia, and their mouths drop open because they can't even imagine that those places really exist. They think it's just like movie sets or something like that. But a lot of them have become interested in other parts of the world because I've told a lot of stories about it, yeah. I taught in the Middle East for 3 years before I started teaching here. My students love when I mention that I used to teach overseas. I think if the students can figure out what they want to do and become successful in that field, then, you know, that's the makings of a happy life.
Lenore Greer, Alternative Learning Center West, Biology, Forensic Science, and Environmental Science.
I want them to believe in themselves. I think, and this does tie into them being at ALC. When they come to me, they've had a setback, whether it be they've been going strong and they made one little slip up, or whether they've had a pattern in their lives. But they come to me and they don't realize what they're able to do, or they think that they can't do it, or they think it's been taken away from them, it's not offered to them. Sometimes I feel like I'm reaching back to them like they've been in kindergarten or first grade or second grade, or finding them wherever they fell off, wherever they lost it, and trying to get them back on board. At the end of the year, we dissect, and I invariably come up with some student who's been a problem all along, all year long, and they get there and they're just amazing. They're careful. They want to pay attention to all the little details, and you'll tell them, you know, you might make a great surgeon someday, and they look at you like, you're crazy, miss, nobody thought I could do this. And I'm like, well, you're doing it. You're doing very good with it. So I want my kids to walk away believing in themselves, even if they don't make great grades right away, or even if they don't reach all of their goals, that they have the gumption to get up and move again and keep going and keep trying. So that's really what I want to leave them with. Change that mindset.
Kelly Grazer, Aragon Middle School, 7th and 8th grade reading and Read 180.
On a daily basis, I get to teach kids how to read, how to enjoy reading, and how to apply that into different subjects as well. They come to me and they've heard their entire life, I can't read, I can't be successful in school, I can't, whatever it is that they want to do, they can't. They've been told that for their entire lives. And so it's my job when they come into the classroom to show them that they can and that they are capable. The minute that a kid starts believing in themselves, it brings joy to my heart. And I can't express that on a daily basis, but when you sit back and think about it and you hear about kids who struggle with reading and they've gone on, the past kids that I've had, and they've gone on and they've become successful and they're in honors class in high school, and they come back and say, it's because you helped me to learn to read, it just, brings so much joy to my heart. So it's a great job to have. Very rewarding.
Nicole Bridges, Alt Elementary School, 4th grade math and science.
I really struggled in math, and what I found shocking was that the first thing that I wanted to teach once I became a teacher was the subject that I struggled most in. When I see a kid that's struggling, I first want to make them feel comfortable, of course, and relate to them. Me struggling with math is something that I can talk to him about or her about. So we'll read the problem all together, and then I have my kids stand up. And a lot of the time, these word problems have very difficult names. So instead of using Tanya or, some difficult name, they'll use their own name in the problem, and then I have them act it out using hand motions, whatever they want to do within the space that they have. And then once we've acted it out, we'll say insane and sit down and then discuss what the problem is about and what it's asking. I've always wanted to be like an actress, and I guess being with kids and acting, it's kind of my stage that I get to make an impression on them every day.
Adrian Sarala, Bain Elementary, kindergarten.
like to see when they come in, they've never been to school before, so they're kind of like a little nervous. It takes them a while. A lot of them never held a book before. A lot of them have never been to school before at all. So when they come to me and at the end of the year to see that they're being able to read and count to 100, it's very fulfilling. My favorite teacher built a relationship with me, and I felt like that is very important with my kindergartners, to build a relationship with them. In the morning, I like to have like classroom meetings, so we get to talk. That's their time to tell me what they did over the weekend or what they did last night. So I'm building a relationship with them that way. They also turn and talk to their partner, and they tell them what they did this weekend, and then they turn and talk to me and let me know what they did during the weekend or what they did at home. We really need to reach the difficult students. It's very easy to tell them just to go sit down. No, I don't want to be bothered, but I really honestly think those are the ones that we need to be pulling to our desk constantly and building a bond with every day.
Our next honoree was not able to be here, but we do want to celebrate her as well. Katrina Vollmer from Baying Elementary School, 4th grade writing.
The teacher that I remember the most making a difference in my life was my English teacher in high school. And she she was able to build a relationship with me that maybe I didn't feel with other teachers. I definitely try to bring real life experiences that I've gone through, to my kids like she did, and just try to really build those relationships with them. That's been key for me. What is so awesome about being a teacher is that you have the power, the capability, to pass on a legacy, to pass on the positive influences that were given to you. And so I try every day to think that every action that I do, everything that I say could stick with a child forever.
Christy Bruns, Burks Elementary, Special Education.
My initial drive came from my mom. My mom was an educator in Cypress-Fairbanks for many years, and she worked with students with disabilities. And it was volunteering at her school and working with her and seeing the impact that she made on her kids. It just inspired me to want to do the same thing. I think if you were to come in my room, you would just feel that love for learning. I think they just display that to the fullest because it's a fun environment. I try to make it fun for them so that they are successful. Every year, maybe every few months, I get a new kid, and they have been broken in a sense. They have been challenged to a point where they feel like they can't learn anymore. They come where their self-esteem is just so low, and they feel like there isn't anyone out there who cares about them and what they could accomplish. One of my biggest goals for them is just to feel the love that I have for them, that all of my coworkers, my paraprofessionals, my administrators have for them, knowing that school is a safe place where they are cherished and valued and loved. I think that's one of the things I try to reach with them every day.
From Campbell Middle School, Jaquila Broussard, 8th grade science.
I allow my kids to talk. My kids usually aren't off task at all because they have an opportunity to actually talk to their shoulder partners, talk to group mates, collaborate, work with each other, and sometimes they get a little tired of each other, so they want to work by themselves. But I let them talk to each other. I never have to make a comment on a student for excessive talking because I used to be that student who talked all the time in my class. And my mom would get those little notes on a progress report. And I didn't want to be that teacher when I grew up. I didn't want to be that teacher that have to make those comments. So I have to make sure I allow them the opportunity to talk. That might be the only class period in their schedule where they get to at least discuss something with their friends that's on topic that's about their learning. And overall, they learn more from each other than they'll ever learn from me. Their peers can break it down at a level where I might not know how to identify with that student. I can know 5 different ways to get to a problem. My students can know 16 with all of them together. So my students are kind of teaching for me. They're my little peer teachers, and they're going around and teaching for me, and just to make sure, okay, are there conversations on the topic that it's supposed to be on, and are they actually understanding it? Because they'll just naturally talk, I don't get this part, I'm going to the back, I don't. And I was like, oh, no, go back to the front. Can you tell me what part you don't understand? If it's a skill that I can teach them now in that hidden lesson, I'm gonna do whatever I can academically and socially to prepare my students to be the best versions of themselves.
Christy Snobble, Copeland Elementary School, 2nd grade reading and language arts.
My favorite thing about the classroom is that it's a puzzle and the pieces are always moving. The kids are the pieces, and trying to figure out their learning styles and trying to figure out their behaviors and how to get them motivated. That's my favorite part of teaching. I think that we are molding these kids, and we're building them up and building their foundations and teaching them to be responsible. We're teaching them to have a great work ethic as an adult. And it's an important job. We do a lot of station works where the kids walk around. I try to keep it novel. I have, when I can tell they get tired of listening to me, I have a hedgehog that's my own personal pet, and there's an app called My Talking Pet, and so I can take a picture of my hedgehog and then I can have the hedgehog do the talking, and the app makes his mouth move, and so my hedgehog will teach the kids, and they all listen to the hedgehog. I think it's something new. Like, I hope they don't see this, but the kids don't know. Like, they really think my hedgehog takes over my iPad at night and makes his little video. So they just love it. They watch it in awe. They're excited to see it. They're enjoying their learning, and they're learning and they don't even know it, and that's what the best thing is.
From Cypress-Fairbanks High School, Bonnie Wash-Jones, health.
Being called coach is an honor because you have so many kids that usually look up to you. Probably one of their favorite units I know is sex education, and it's not all about sex, that's what I tell them, but it's the dating and getting them through, relationships. We'll set them up with either they're going to be a single parent or a married with the spouse, and they have a 6-month-old baby. They've been completely disowned by their families, and they're making minimum wage. They have to budget. They have to get an apartment. They can only work 40 hours a week. They're of the age they are right now. And so they're like, oh my gosh, I'm not ever gonna do this. And I tell them also too, this is just paper, and look how much you guys don't have at the end of the paycheck. And you guys are already complaining about you're in a negative and you're not getting any help. And what's funny is you got to hear them bickering with each other, and I said, do y'all need counseling? So that we just kind of go with that.
Lori Junewick, Cypress Creek High School, Adaptive Physical Education and Athletics.
If you're a teacher and you care, every day you're going to do all you can with every kid that you meet, because you don't know what they have at home. You don't know what they come from, and you want to make their day a great one. From way back when to now, kids need a lot more from schools now. Kids, they come in hungry, they come in a bad mood. You got to be everything to them every day. The life skills kids are a whole different ballgame than regular PE, but we get to see regular America all the time, and it's been so much fun learning about kids and trying to help them every day with just growing up, trying to grow up right, and that's our big job, I think. Not just content, but it's about how we can help them make good decisions in their life. And not every kid's a cookie cutter by far. You don't need to be an engineer like Daddy. You can do what you want to do and be great at it, but It's something that we need to help them do because they've got to realize they've got to make a great life for themselves. And that's what teaching is all about, making the world a better place to be.
Tammy Winsman, Cypress Ridge High School, PACE Plus and PALS.
PALS is a program where we get to work with the elementary and junior high kids. And so on 2 days a week at our school at Cypress Ridge, we go to the elementaries and we work with at-risk students there. They're learning leadership skills, the L in PALS leadership, so that's a big thing, and they all are leaders. It's a class full of leaders, but I think more than anything, they're learning empathy. They're learning to accept others for how they are, no judgment, and unconditional love. And that's the hardest part of anything is unconditional love. It's no matter what your pal does, if they've been in DMC, if they're in trouble, if they're not nice to you. You know, we always know that everybody has a story and we don't know what their story is, and it's our job to find their story and then to love them anyway and to love them through it. And if we can teach them to have confidence, problem-solving skills, and to love themselves, then that's amazing. We've done our job. If I won the lottery, I would still teach. I can't believe I get paid for what I do every day. There are days on Tuesdays and Thursdays when I travel, I'm playing Duck, Duck, Goose and freeze tag and running with these kids, and then we stop and do a little lesson and then we play, and I get paid for it. It's the greatest thing.
Sonia Talon, Cypress Woods High School, Life Skills.
Well, my childhood, I was born in Argentina originally, and we came to this country. My father only had $200 in his pocket and 4 kids. All of us graduated from Cypher High School. We're big Bobcats, always Cypher. You know, you just can't. I don't know. You can't relate unless you went to Cypher High School. It's just pretty cool. I don't like my students to be in a wheelchair all day. I refuse to do that. So I love to take them out and position them, and sometimes they require a lot of medical needs like being tube fed and cath and meds and stuff like that take up so much time, and they need a lot of one-on-one. So there's a special room at our school, a really, really special room. My goal is to keep them happy, to make them as happy as they can be and comfortable, and just to see them thrive. Yeah, that's my goal. I love to see a smile. I love to hear them laugh. I love to see them healthy. I just love being around the students. And the school I'm at is wonderful. The administration, the teachers, everyone. I have to say it's the best place I've ever worked in. And I'm not trying to suck up or anything. No.
Latoya Lewis, Duryea Elementary, first grade, self-contained.
One of my favorites actually stands out was my first grade teacher. Her name was Miss Duval. Probably one of the reasons why I decided to become a teacher. Miss Duval was she was pretty firm. They know when they walk into my classroom, they're also gonna get a lesson in respect and manners and responsibility. She really just told it like it was, you know, whether you wanted to hear it or not. Not only will they be successful students, but hopefully those lessons will carry over into their adulthood so that they'll also be respectful, responsible adults. It was always a very structured environment, you know, very organized. Basically, my kids could run the classroom on their own if they needed to. Like I've structured and put routines and expectations into place that even if I weren't there, I think my students could probably run my classroom. She was very loving. You could tell that she genuinely cared about you. I want them to know that they can accomplish anything, that they can be anything that they want to be. I just always remember There was a lot of fun in her classroom. There was a lot of laughter. My kids, you know, they always tell me, you know, you're so funny, or you're my favorite teacher, you know, you always make me laugh. It feels good. Like, I love when, like, someone comes to me and says, you know, hey, I just saw this student, and, you know, they told me about all the great things they've done, and even if they're no longer in my class, but just to be able to say, you know, that was my student, I taught that student, it makes me feel really good.
Anna Radu, Emory Elementary, Special Education.
I'm from Moldova. It's a very small country in Eastern Europe. From birth, if a child had a disability, they had to be sent away. So when I came to the United States, I was really impressed how it didn't matter what type of disability they had. They were enrolled in public schools. I have 2 kids, and my girls are very young. So the first week when I enrolled them in school and I saw that, I was really, really impressed. That's when I decided that's what I want to do. These kids, they weren't given the choice of, oh, I want to be born with a disability or not. They were born like that. So our job, I don't know, I feel like, you know, I have to take the responsibility and I have to help them, because it's not their fault when they're not getting something. It's actually us, the adults. It's my job to do whatever it takes to help him understand or her to understand. My dream was to learn everything, receive more, I guess, experience, and then go back to my home country and try to help them implement this in their public schools. But a year ago, someone did it for me, so too late now.
Kimberly Patton, Emmett Elementary, 5th grade reading, language arts, and social studies.
Everyone in Cyfair is passionate about what they do. I think that the administrators are passionate about the kids at the schools, the teachers are passionate, and I'm passionate about what I do. When the kids see that I'm excited, it helps them to get excited about learning and about growing and about just having learning to be that ongoing process. Some of the things that I really enjoy doing are reading aloud to the kids. It's so funny because at first I thought, I don't have time to read aloud, I don't have time for that. But once I really started doing it and started seeing the growth in the students based on those things that we talked about in those read-alouds, it made a big difference. It's important for them to enjoy reading because reading is a part of life. Reading is a way of life. When we read, it does take us places. It takes us places that maybe in real life we'll never be able to go. But when we read about it in a book, we can go to those different places.
Sherry O'Brien, Feast Elementary, 2nd grade, self-contained.
I like being a role model for the kids. I like being their second mom sometimes, or getting to know them, being their cheerleader. I have 22 children. They're ESL class. They love to learn. They stay on task, they do well, they're successful. You know, every single student, don't care how smart they are or how much they need help, don't leave anyone behind. If all the other ones are doing okay and one is still struggling, it makes me sad. It's kind of, I guess it's upsetting to me to watch them, their face, you know, get sad or they start to cry. Being with them when they're crying or when they're happy, it doesn't matter, but just being there for them, especially for the children who need it, who don't have that in their home life, that they don't give up on themselves, that they stick with school, you know, go on to college, have a career, and that they're successful in the future.
Jennifer Gonzalez, Frazier Elementary, 3rd grade reading and language arts.
You usually can ask someone, do you remember your favorite teacher? And right off the top of their head, they can name a specific one. And I was always looking for that one inspirational teacher. So I felt like I needed to be that one inspirational teacher for someone who is struggling with, you know, maybe family issues or struggling in their youth to find who they are, their individuality. We have a lot of students that have maybe younger parents or single parents, or a lot of our children are living with grandparents or extended family members. So we run into a lot of times where our kids need to be shown that extra attention or extra patience and extra love. And a lot of our kids, they come in sometimes and they really didn't have a routine that they're used to, so they didn't maybe get dinner that night. They come in, they're hungry, they're sleepy, there was no one there to help them with their homework. I'm not only here to teach you how to read and write, but I'm here to be supportive and here to help them reach their potential and find out what that potential is, because a lot of our kids don't even know the potential that lies, you know, within them. So the population that I work with, they definitely benefit from having someone to give them structure, someone that's gonna provide them safety and make them feel like they're loved.
Ellen Whiteley, Hair Grove Elementary, 3rd grade SCI, math and science.
I went to Hair Grove, and I'm a product of Cypher, and I love all those teachers. They made such a difference in me. My parents were refugees, so they came from El Salvador in the 80s, and they didn't speak any English, and nobody really gave them a break, and they taught themselves English from a dictionary. And so their mission in life was to make sure that I didn't struggle like they did. So they knew, through the grapevine and through their friends, they heard Cypher is like a great school for bilingual children. And I was in another school district, and they weren't very accepting of me just speaking Spanish. It was kind of frowned upon, and Cypher was the first place and where it was okay, and I wasn't made to feel less than for speaking 2 languages. It was embraced, and the love was there, and the teachers were so accepting, and they gave me the extra time I needed to learn, and if I couldn't get it, they would always help me. And so in all that, there was a relationship built. Like I felt safe because I was loved. My kids would be like, "You're crying again." I know.
Joan Pearson, Hamilton Middle School, 6th grade, English language arts.
You have these students that are so excited about learning, and they're coming from elementary, so you are the coolest teacher ever, because for the first time they have lockers, they have free seating at lunch, and they have a lot of freedoms that they've never experienced in elementary school. And so it makes the teachers a rock star, at least until Christmas. I was very studious. For the most part, I never missed school. I loved my teachers. You could say I was a teacher's pet, but I was like any other student. I did get paddled, and that was because I'd forgotten my homework. It was pretty traumatic for me, it was. But what I remember about it is just the humiliation. Being confrontational, you just really don't get anywhere with those students. Most of the books that I put in front of them, I've read or I know something about. And so any opportunity that I can put something in there and make them curious, then I'll do that. I'll just kind of lay the seed, and then we just give it a day, and I usually have pretty good success. I'm not pushing it on them, but the next thing I know, they are getting that book and they're reading, and they're liking it. That whole concept of reading and fighting it just changes.
Melissa Thomas, Hancock Elementary, 5th grade, language arts.
Well, kind of crazy, but I was not a good student, actually, growing up. And I really didn't feel education was important, honestly, until I got to college, which is not a good thing to say as an educator, but it's just kind of something I'm drawn to, the student that can do better. So I shared with them my struggles, with learning. When I was growing up, there was a reading readiness class that was between kindergarten and first grade. That was me. I went to that. And I shared with them the struggles that I had, particularly in math growing up, and how I turned into a success story. I went to college, I graduated, and so it can be done. And so, yeah, there are some setbacks and there are some hard times with learning, but it can all be overcome. And so when it's appropriate, I share it. I felt it was appropriate in that moment for them to see that I'm your teacher, but learning was hard for me when I was your age, and so they need to know that, I'm just a person too, and I was in their shoes once, and so I want them to know that. And so when it's appropriate, I share it.
Jolene Garcia, Holbrook Elementary, 3rd grade Language Arts and Social Studies.
I was an office manager at an oil and gas company, and I was not good at that. So I've changed. I was created to be a teacher. So that was my calling. Working in oil and gas, it's very separated. You do your job, they do their job, and it's very separated. Teaching, it's about working together. You're in the trenches together. You help each other. They helped me just as much as I helped them. I think every child is gifted. Their gift just blossoms at different times. And it's my job to dig. And that's what I'm doing in that first 2 months of school. What are you good at? What are you weak at? I pair up the strengths with the weaknesses. I help them. They get pulled into tutoring. There's a lot of conversation that happens to where, and the struggling kids, and I just tell them, you're not gonna get it today. You may not get it tomorrow. One day, it's all gonna click. And then once it clicks, a whole new world appears. And it's the most fascinating thing to ever happen. It's pretty awesome.
Jacqueline Frazier, Holmesley Elementary, 4th grade Language Arts.
So I'm a pretty shy person, quite shy. I always say that when I'm in the classroom and I'm in front of the student, it's totally different. Kids are funny, they're fun. So when I have a student who reminds me of me when I was younger, and even now, I definitely understand them so I can approach it, in a empathetic way, in an understanding way, and hopefully I've been able to inspire them a little bit and help them to make sure that they are feeling comfortable with themselves. Whoever their student is, whatever their challenges may be, whatever their strengths or weaknesses, when I think back every day when I go home, there's something that I can smile about. You go there every day with the thought in mind of how can I help them today? How can I help that child succeed?
Tracy Petway, Jersey Village High School, English 3.
I went to private school from pre-K all the way through high school, and I think the difference in being a public school teacher and what we have is something that's a little bit more difficult, especially with all of the standardized testing that we have nowadays and all of the other expectations that are required of a public school teacher, and you have to kind of be Superman and you have to be able to do everything. You're a teacher, sometimes you're a parent, you're a friend, and sometimes you have to make the hard decisions, and maybe do something for the kids that they don't like, but it's for their own good. And so you really have to think about everything and how it affects them, not just in the short term, but in the long run. And it's just an opportunity that you don't get doing anything else in any other profession. And I love being able to do that and getting to know my kids, and I love them, and I have so much pride in them. They're gonna do great things, and we've got some awesome kids out there who are ready to just conquer the world, and they're gonna change things so drastically and make this such a good place to be.
Jose Gomez, Joel Elementary, 5th grade science.
We do earth science, space science, life sciences. Right now we are ready to head to our space unit. At times I'll go and sit with them in the cafeteria and just kind of talk with them, just hear what's going on in their lives and their friendships and kind of those things that they're not going to talk to you about one-on-one if you just ask them, because they, don't always want to share. But when you sit with them, it's kind of like communal. You become part of their group. And, I do it once. I mean, first there are kids who I see sitting with us. But then as the year keeps going on, will you come sit with us? Will you come sit with us, Mr. Gomes? Will you eat lunch with us? Will you tell us a story? And just, about growing up. I tell them different stories about my childhood and just fun little things, and just ask maybe some riddles and things to them. And they love it. I mean, they want me to hang out right there in that time. But I think that part of the relationship helps when you have to go in and then really work on things that might be a little harder for them to understand. There's more of a connection that they've made.
Unisha Prudham, Kayla Middle School, 7th and 8th grade touch systems data and principles of information technology.
Before teaching, I did some work in IT, working in technical support. In IT, you also deal with customer service, customer support as well. And middle school students are learning. They're learning how to respond socially. They're learning how to respond to authority. They're learning how to respond appropriately in different situations. And honestly, I think I value more those social real-life lessons that I teach them more than anything that I teach them in my content area. They can learn all of that at a different time, but I feel as though planting that seed within them at this time in their lives is what's more important. I still like IT, but now I get to incorporate IT and the children. So it was more about being able to encourage those students. And I believe in the village model. Takes the support of the parents, the teachers, community to help our students to be successful. And I just feel the need to do and be there in whatever way I need to be, the same way my teachers were there for me.
Meredith Kippis, Libai Middle School, 7th grade math.
It's so cliche. I just love kids, and I love being an influence on them. I had rough middle school years too. I was bullied a lot, and I just never stood up for myself. I just try to establish, a relationship with each kid to where they'll feel comfortable to come to me and talk to me, just listen to them. A lot of their kids, being at a Title I school, their parents aren't always home to listen to their issues. Some of them have given up by 7th grade on themselves already, so I hope to rebuild their self-confidence and their self-respect so that they can go out in the world and just be better people. And then if they don't have self-confidence, finding the smallest thing that they've done right and just really pushing for it and really cheering for them just about, the smallest achievement can go a long way. And trying to, if you don't learn math, hopefully you learn to be a better person through my class. Just showing them, I was there, I was in your shoes. It gets better, I swear.
I'm back in middle school now by choice.
Rebecca Roberts, Moore Elementary, 5th grade reading and language arts.
Well, reading is really my passion, and I love what I do. I love working with kids, I always have, and in my class, I think the biggest thing is building relationships with your kids, is really getting to know them personally other than just academically, and I think that the rest follows suit when you have a great relationship with your kids and you really get to know them in their hearts. I want them to just really feel that excitement of reading a book and going on adventures and learning new things, and just to make it really enjoyable, because it is a lifelong skill, and I don't want kids to get burnt out and not want to read. It just breaks my heart as a reading teacher. I just want them to be excited and can't wait to start a new book. I really do believe in being calm. I believe in working with children and trying to pull the best out of them and to make them feel confident that they can do it, and just to be beside them and always let them know I'm there for you. So I think that's very important.
Lisa Hughes, Owens Elementary, physical education.
A lot of times we camouflage fitness into a fun activity so that kids don't even realize that they are exercising when they are. Surprisingly enough, a lot of our kids maybe have never even been to a bowling alley. And so basically in our gym, we just roll out the mats and we set up, children around each station, around each mat, and then they can go bowling at our school. Although we tell them we don't have the machines that return the ball and do the pins and everything, so they have to be the machines and do that themselves. We just finished our square dancing unit, so I bet you didn't do that in your school. So we have a big unit we teach them how to square dance, we teach them how to line dance. Helps them work together, helps them cooperate. It helps them, it's a boy-girl thing, and you have to work together even though you may not like that person. It's real life. It's real life. Sometimes you have to cooperate with people and work with people and get along with people even though you don't know them, or maybe you don't even like them, but you do it anyway. So I have the best job in the whole world because they love to come to my class. They love to come to PE. They love to be active. Kids want to move. They love to be active, and we just have a fun time in there.
Laura Stewart, post-elementary, pre-kindergarten.
I've taught first grade, kindergarten, and pre-K. I've been at pre-K the longest because I've found my home there with 4-year-olds. They're awesome. They have a sense of wonder and excitement, and I love that they're very uninhibited, because I know that when people are laughing and having a good time, they're going to retain more information than if they're bored. So I try to do a lot of things that make them laugh. We do a lot of dancing and singing, and I read different books and use different character voices and just try to make it fun for them so they will enjoy being there. Because I want them to continue to love learning. I don't want them to come and be scared. So I really try to have a very warm, nurturing environment. I love it. When I wake up every morning, I feel so blessed to go to a job that I love. I'm sorry. You please edit that. But I just feel so lucky to go to a job that I like. I love the people I work with and the kids that I work with. So, and I can't imagine retiring. So that's a good thing, I guess,
Lisa Cannell, Reed Elementary School, kindergarten.
every time you get to talk to a kindergartner, the responses you get, I mean, you never know. You just never know. I mean, learning about coins this week in math and some of the responses and questions, you know, who is Thomas Jefferson? Well, can we meet him? No, you can't meet him, unfortunately. I had a student the other day, we were celebrating Dr. Seuss Day, and he didn't understand, you know, why we were celebrating Dr. Seuss's birthday for a man that is no longer alive. And I was trying to explain that, yeah, I understand that we're not celebrating his birthday. He's not gonna have a birthday party with a cake or anything. It was more of just a, you know, we're celebrating him in general. But he was very confused on why we were celebrating someone's birthday when they were no longer with us. We just did college day and career day, and we had the kids talk about what they wanted to be when they grow up. And it's amazing because at this age, they want to be the president. They want to be a teacher, a police officer, a doctor, a vet. And I really hope that as they get older, they still believe they can be any of those things. They really can, and I want that for them. I think they like school. I think they actually enjoy coming to class and they enjoy learning. And I think it makes them feel good that they know that someone wants to talk to them, somebody cares about them. And I like that. I like helping them feel that way.
Amy Moore, Salyards Middle School Choir Director.
We called our program We'll Meet Again, and it was a musical tribute to the greatest generation. And we sent out invitations through area VFWs. We got in touch with Honor Flight, which is a group that flies veterans from different wars, including Korea and Vietnam, up to Washington, and they pay for it all. And just trying to get the word out. And that night, we had several veterans there. And all the girls were dressed in vintage clothes, and they looked fantastic, and the boys were dressed as sailors or GIs. And one girl was wearing this cute little skirt and blouse outfit, and it was white with little black polka dots, and she had a hat and little gloves, and she looked great. And at the end of the program, this man came up to her, and he was obviously very emotional, had tears in his eyes, and he gave her this big hug. Elderly man, and he said, I've been waiting 70 years to see this outfit again because it was the outfit that my wife was wearing the first time I ever saw her. And you know, the child just sat there awestruck by that, and it was all about that sort of experience.
Jennifer Bigness, Sampson Elementary, 4th grade math and science.
Sci-Fair came up to a couple different job fairs that I was at, and when I spoke with the people there, they said how amazing Sci-Fair was, that it was all about students first. And okay, coming from Wyoming, I came from the land of it's very cold and snowy, and I came to Houston, way too many people and traffic and crowds and hot and humid. And when I walked into my first school at Moore with Barbara Fine, I knew I found my home. Coming to school is a good thing every day. It's safe, and I would say that I love each and every one of them, and they know that. I either give them a hug or a fist bump or a high five every morning, and then as they leave, it's the same thing, and I'll see you tomorrow, I'll have a good day. Well, some of them, you don't know what their home life is like, and it might be horrible, and I want them to know that no matter what, this is the place that they want to come. And when I was growing up, my first grade teacher was my favorite, and she did that to me. I knew that she wanted to see me every day. I knew she was excited and wanted to see me when I walked in, and that at the end of the year, it was always, I'll see you next year. And then I ended up student teaching in her classroom. But she made me love it. I don't think I'll ever be as good as she is, because she's amazing.
Cindy Locke, Sheridan Elementary, music.
Well, I love hearing them sing. I know not a lot of people do. You get like 40, 50 kids singing and not always on the same note, but we try. Oceans of fun, we're playing in the sun. Oceans of fun, we're swimming till the day is done. Oceans of fun, it's one for all and all for one. 'Cause out in the beautiful big blue sea, it's oceans of fun. I'm kind of embarrassed. That's why I teach, I don't perform. And in front of kids, I just love the kids. And I know how it feels when you try something and can't get it. English is my second language type thing. When I'm getting pulled for bilingual classes, ESL, I go into music and I feel like I understood because I would like try to figure out and it was easy for me. And so with that being said, when I got to middle school, of course I'm having to get additional help for math and reading and stuff. But in choir, I was really good at it. He just made me feel important. And so hopefully I'm doing that for somebody, you know, as I'm teaching now, so. I don't know why I'm doing this.
John Simmons, Smith Middle School, Technology Education.
I'm a technology education teacher, also known as your woodshop, metal shop teacher. Before I was teaching for 10 years, I did architecture and then decided to come on board and teaching. It was the best move. And so I like to think that my class brings a different level other than what people usually tend to think of as just a build birdhouse or, you know, you're just making cutting boards. I think there's a lot more to it. Oh, you know, I know we've been talking a lot about wood and building, but, you know, we do drafting. And when we're drafting and drawing, being able to put in the actual calculations they learned in math and see the outcome of what it looks like, you know. Oh, that line actually looks like that, even though that was solving for X. Some of the kids who just don't get it, see it, and they get it. Seeing the aha moments come on is really good. And ultimately, as a teacher, that's your end game. That's your goal. Touch every single kid's life, make sure they have something till the bitter end that they've learned and taken away. So obviously, that's what I hope they get from my class.
May Sutton, Spillane Middle School, Reading Workshop, Read 180, and Dyslexia.
I am what I considered an old graduate. I didn't have that inspiration of, 18, I'm gonna be a teacher. No, I wanted to be a nurse. So I spent my 40s in school. I did my graduate, my undergrad program, took a year off, and then went back to school and got my master's degree as a reading specialist, and I am also a licensed dyslexia practitioner. When the kids come in, I want them to feel as if they were walking into home. Because when you go home, where do you do your homework? At the kitchen table. And that is where you study, and that's where you can get your frustrations out and things like that. So when they come into my classroom and me asking them to do the one thing that they feel like they're not very good at, they're great at it. They want to know that somebody loves them, number one, and that they're never going to be left, even though the task may be super difficult. And that's what I hope to instill in each and every one of them, to plant those positive seeds in them and say, okay, she will never leave me and she will always help me, no matter what the task is.
Melissa Judson, Swinkie Elementary School, Special Education.
This is my 5th year to be a special ed teacher. I was a special ed para for 10 years and enjoyed it and went back to school to get my degree. I work with 1st graders up to 5th graders, varying disabilities, and it's critical to your teaching. You have to have a relationship with your students to know what they want. That's and what works for them. That's, to me, it's the beauty of special ed. I mean, we all just have fun. We're like a family because we just, we work, it's just me and maybe 1 child or 2 students every day for half an hour or an hour. I teach math most of the day. Let's say the word problems. All the word problems, I incorporate their family members' names into, their pets' names. And they love to see their names in print. And we, that's one. It's something small, but they do like to see their name. I want them to look back at what we did and hopefully use that later in life. I want them to, like we set goals in our classroom, I want them to set goals. I still love my job every day. Every day. And I can, and some days are harder than others, but I can still honestly say at the end of the day, I love my job every day. That's who I am.
Jamie Williams, Thornton Middle School, Team Leadership and Peer Mediation.
I teach teen leadership, peer mediation, student council, and the New Arrival Center reading. We were doing a speech on a lesson learned, and I always model the speech for them first, and I never quite know what I say until I get up there. But what I told them was kind of the story about how I was a therapist, and I wasn't spending enough time with my family, and I didn't feel good on the inside, and my relationship with my husband was suffering. It was suffering. I felt like I was failing as a mom, and so I thought, well, what else could I be? Oh, being a teacher. That would be easy, right? I could work, 8 to 3, spend all this extra time with my family. So have the summers off. I get there at 6 a.m. I leave, 5, 6 o'clock. I, take the kids on field trips on the weekends and, stay after school almost every day. A lot of the kids that are in my class are the kids that, have been in fights, been suspended, have come from ALC, have difficult home lives. And if that's not them, then they're the kids that are shy, haven't really talked before. So just being in the class, the greatest attribute of the class is that we become a big family. Now that I'm teaching, I feel more at peace with myself, so I'm more at peace at home. I feel like I'm a better teacher, which makes me be a better mom and a better wife.
Brooke Bunting, Truett Middle School, 6th grade math.
Math is one of those subjects that students struggle with. From day one, you see it in their face. They are absolutely petrified because it is so many big changes from elementary to middle school. And I feel that the most important thing as a teacher is to build those positive relationships, because they do need to feel safe, and they need to be able to, trust me and open up to me and share things with me, because I understand that I might be the only one that cares about them. I teach at a Title I school, so a lot of these kids don't have the best home life. And if I'm that one person that they see a day, if I can, be there for them and inspire them and motivate them and encourage them to be the best version of themselves, then I feel like that's a successful day. If they leave me, move on to 7th grade, and I've taught them a little bit of math, and they actually maybe enjoy math just a little bit, that's a bonus.
Sharon Quinalty, Walker Elementary, 5th grade Reading, Language Arts, and Social Studies.
The curriculum is a guideline, but like I'm always looking for interesting ways to teach character, to teach how characters change. Most are reading off grade level, have not been successful previous years on some of the state assessments, and I have worked with them all year. I started book clubs very early in the year, a girls' book club and a boys' book club, and really what I've been trying to do with them, and where I think we are right now, is learning to love reading. Because if you're reading off grade level, to really catch up, you have to connect with a book. And I mean, they would say, "Is today book club? Is today book club? Is today book club?" So I find at my school that we're encouraged, to find the greatest books and the best ways to make kids think, because I think that's our job. The kids have to be thinking deeply, and you have to find interesting ways to help them want to do that.
Trina Moore, Wilburn Elementary, 4th grade math and science.
In my class, you are who you are and you're accepted by who you are. And every day is going to be different. And our goal is to remain the same with the understanding that we're here to learn. And I'm in a happy place, and this place is going to remain the way it is no matter what happens around me. And I try to get them to also kind of put that off on other students, because we have students that come in, I may not see what's going on, but I want to say I've taught my students that if I'm not here to help you, then I'm going to teach you how to help someone else. So it doesn't matter what goes on outside this classroom. When you come in every single day, we're going to remain the same with how we treat each other, with how we are going to respect and how we are going to present ourselves. Sometimes at this age, students are very selfish and self-centered, and it's about me, 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 me. But in order for us to succeed as a team, we have to not only consider ourselves, but consider everyone else. So if you're not having a great day, there's someone that's going to be there to kind of pick you up. And we can't do that if we are concerned with ourselves. So I guess pretty much building a stronger person to build a stronger team. And may it be a continuous cycle. If I can help this person, my gift is to pass on to this person, go help someone else. Never let it stop. May it be forever giving.
Angela Leggett, Wilson Elementary School, 5th grade reading, language arts, and social studies.
I've always wanted to be a teacher. Even when I was a little kid, I'd play school, and my favorite teacher was my 4th grade teacher. And I think what I loved the most about her was just that she listened. That's always one of my goals, to listen to what the kids have to say. I have just angry students sometimes, and it's because maybe their parents are going through a divorce, or, mom and dad got in a fight last night and dad got hauled off in a police car. So, things that you would never know about. They come in and they're upset. So if they don't have their homework or they're not prepared for class, instead of fussing at them for not being ready, I listen to what's going on at home, what happened, why don't you have your homework, and I try to help them work through, okay, what can we do next time? The success, that light bulb that goes off, and the smiles on their faces when they're happy, and when things go right, or they get a good grade, or they get an answer right, or we're just having a discussion in small group. Just the twinkle in their eye and the smile on their face. I love that.
Our final honoree in this dimension could not be here, but again, we'd like to honor her. Jill Johnson, Winfern High School, English 4.
Winford's just a really special place. We do have great teachers. We have great leadership who hires great teachers. I think all of us have felt at some point that we were maybe like an outsider or a loner. At one point in my high school career, I dropped out for like 2 months. So I could kind of relate to them, and it's very difficult sometimes for these kids who are 16, 17, 18 to have to become an adult so quickly, and they inspire me. These kind of kids with those kind of stories, it's amazing that some of them can even get out of bed in the morning. We really get to know them and what's happening in their lives and their goals and how we can help them. Once a kid tells me, hey, I want to be a physical therapist, I'm like all on that. What can I do to help you? Let's get you enrolled at such and such school. Let's make that happen for you. I remember the teachers that I had in high school, that reached out to me and took the time to come to my house when I was having a hard time. So that's been part of it.
Creator of Student-Centered Environment honorees, please stand so we can recognize you one more time. Also, family members, colleagues, and supporters of these teachers, would you please stand so we can thank you for your support. Thank you. Our next group of honorees represent the dimension of a positive role model. A CFISD teacher is a positive role model who displays the values, good citizenship, and personal qualities that evidence a meaningful, productive life. Trustworthiness, responsibility, persistence, optimism, and respect for self and others. Our first honoree is Anthony Helton, Adaptive Behavior Center, Physical Education, and Crisis Intervention.
Well, you have kids at the Adaptive Behavior Center, not in your regular ed school, but they require a lot of patience. Some of these kids come from broken families or struggling families, and maybe I'm more of a role model or father figure than that student's family at home. I guess I just want to help every student do their best, especially, at the Adaptive Behavior Center where they're tough kids to work with, but I wanted to work with them because they need somebody to be patient with them and to teach them, and I could be at a regular ed campus, but I choose to be there because they need somebody to lean on as well. Not only education-wise, but you need to have some kind of rapport with a student that show them that you care. My hope is the students at the Adaptive Behavior Center, they graduate from high school and they're able to attend a college or able to get a job that will help them in life.
Agnes Gonzalez, Adam Elementary School, second grade, Language Arts and Social Studies.
I am a Cy-Fair baby. I went to Hancock and went to Blyle and then graduated at Cy Falls. I've been working for the district since I was 18. I started off as a paraprofessional and made my way into the classroom as a classroom teacher. I feel that education has always been the only stable thing in my life, so I always wanted to pay it forward. My mother always told me that I wasn't going to be a statistic in life. She had me at the age of 15. She was forced to drop out of high school. And so watching her as I grew up, she eventually got her GED and then got her bachelor's and master's and doctorate. And just seeing that determination, I really wanted to implement that in my own kids, that despite whatever circumstances they have gone through, what they are going through, or what they will go through, it won't determine their outcome, their destiny. I always use my life experiences. I feel like in my classroom it's open door policy that goes for not only my students but the parents as well, the community as well. I share with them my weaknesses, my strengths, so they can know that I'm a real person and they can relate to me. I have no doubt in my mind that they can achieve anything they want to achieve.
Carrie Ann Stroud, Andre Elementary, dyslexia, reading intervention, and primary reading coach.
Overcoming dyslexia is huge. It's a disability that they will have forever, but what I'm teaching them the coping mechanisms, they can use those skills and strategies forever. One thing I want them to learn is from me that no matter what, they're not dumb. They're not stupid. I'm not gonna let them walk out of my room knowing that they have that disability. They are smart, they are worthy, and they can do anything. I love watching kids learn. I love watching kids when they can read a word for the first time or get excited about reading. That's what it's all about. It's not a job to me. It's what I'm meant to do. It's the most rewarding experience.
Chris Pittman, Blisle Middle School, band director.
My band director at Hamilton was Mr. Mickey Vasquez. Mr. Vasquez had, Mr. V, as we called him, and I have trouble not calling him Mr. V still. He's been a colleague for 9 years, but anyway. I try to emulate Mr. V in my teaching by having a place where the kids are comfortable to come and learn. Having a place where the kids are comfortable to play their instruments in front of their peers and mess up and then try it again. So it's okay to mess up because we're all learning our music, our craft, and learning to share it, because that's kind of the whole point of playing music in the first place. Teaching is, in my mind, something I didn't know I was going to keep doing, didn't know if I wanted to do it, but I've learned that one of my favorite things about it is getting to work with so many different people. My father's an accountant, and he likes working with numbers instead of people. But kids are just as much people as adults, and a lot of times they're more bearable because they're supposed to act like kids, you know? And so you get to interact with all these different people, and there's lots of personalities and lots of things that I can learn from them as well. So I think I'm more of a people person than my father is.
Stacy Anderson, Cook Middle School, physical education and athletics.
Kids call me Coach A, and go ahead. I'm used to PE is more than just physical. It's not just games anymore. And that stereotype of PE, I want that a thing of the past. Our new PE is going to incorporate our cross-curricular instruction, and it's going to be an environment our kids want to be there, and they're going to have fun, and they're going to learn. They come in, they know they're going to learn every day. You know, to see the kids that come to me that have limited skill and then go on to play varsity basketball and on to play college basketball, it's an amazing feeling. You know, that's what teaching is about. You see the accomplishment, you see the hard work that goes into it, and it pays off, and that's what brings me joy. 80% of my day is PE kids, and every child that comes through my gym, they have a goal. Whether we realize it or not, whether they realize, they have a goal. And my job is to make sure that they are successful, and whatever it takes for them to be successful, if they meet me halfway, that's my job. And I will meet them and help them take them to the next level. It is an awesome feeling.
Next is Rebecca Wynn, Danish Elementary, first grade, self-contained.
I give my students a hug every single morning. I greet them at the door. They know that I'm there, and they know when I'm not going to be there because they like the consistency, because a lot of them don't have that at home. I tell all my students that I love them, and I really do mean it, and they all know that they all have a special place in my heart. They all know about my life, and I know about their life. I know what they do, who their friends are, what their interests are, and they bring something important to me, you know, like they complete me. They complete our class. At the beginning of the year, we always make a heart with all of their name. They have a puzzle piece. They don't know what's a heart, and then they put their name on it. And then I bring them to the floor with their puzzle piece. It's the first activity we do, and we build our classroom heart. And then we represent that heart to be my heart. And, you know, and every time something happens or if somebody leaves, look what happens to our heart, you know. And then there's blank heart pieces of the puzzle to where we can have new friends come into our classroom, and we treat them the way we've been treating all of our friends, even if they look different, act different, or anything like that. We help them so that they know they're part of our classroom heart.
Kelsey Rostron, Dean Middle School, 7th grade math.
Usually in my classroom, I start off with like a joke of the day, and it is probably the corniest joke you've ever heard. Today was, why did the banana go to the doctor? Because it wasn't peeling well. Get it? And then engaging is, students like to talk. And so the biggest thing is you got to get them to talk about math. And so I might have a student say, hey, we talked about vocabulary yesterday. I want you to turn and talk to your partner about circumference, but I'd like you to use it in a complete sentence. Circumference is, and then you fill in the blank. And then the other partner might have to agree or disagree with them, or they can even add on extra information if they left something out. If they have self-confidence and they're able to articulate as an individual that has an education and a darn good one here in Cypress-Fairbanks ISD, that they will be more successful whatever avenue or whatever path they take. That leads to a more cohesive community in regards. There's so much going on in today's world where people got each other down. My mascara good?
Lewis Yang, Farney Elementary, 4th grade, math and science.
Well, before I taught, I was a testing engineer, mainly just quality analysis at Foxconn. Prior to that, I went to UT and got my degree in chemical engineering. Being able to understand math a lot more because of my degree has helped with, with the understanding of it and being able to explain it better. With science, I think kids naturally like science. They like to understand why things are the way they are. So it was, so the bubble blowing lab, they got different pieces of cloth or material just to put over their bubble blower, and they would dip it and they would blow and see how long of a bubble chain that they would make. So feeling the materials, observing the materials, using their observation skills to come up with a hypothesis, and then testing out their hypothesis, testing out those different materials, and seeing if their hypothesis matched up, or what they said matched up with what the results were. But just every day is an opportunity for them to grow their minds and just become more knowledgeable.
Tiffany May, Hamilton Elementary, first grade, self-contained.
We do a lot of movement, I will say, and when we do a lot of movement, I do it with them. I don't just, like for instance, put on a brain break video and it just plays on the screen. Miss May gets out there with them and boogies with them. So I engage with them on that level. We have something called morning meeting where we greet each other every single morning. I'm a part of that too. I sit in that circle with them and we greet each other. Also, I try to have as many activities as I can that are hands-on, where they're constantly moving and grooving. It could be just like, we're just bopping, they're dancing around bopping, or sometimes like they're really into the whip and nay-nay, so if I play that, they're cleaning up, but you see some of them doing their little whip and their little nay-nay. Or some are just walking around singing the song with a smile on their face. But I guarantee you every single child in there is doing some type of a movement with a smile on their face. It puts a smile on my heart. I always tell them, Miss May, I don't want to have a wrinkly heart, and I don't want you to have a wrinkly heart. And when I see that, it just lets me know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Lindsay Howson, Hopper Middle School, sixth grade reading and language arts.
Lindsay Howson, take one. Born and raised, Cy-Fair all the way. Making a difference to me is building that relationship with my kids. Each one of my kids, I love them like they're my own kids. I treat them like they're my own babies. I bring them in, they expect me to be there for them every day, greeting them in the morning, saying goodbye to them as they leave. It's just, being that stable person in their life that's there for them no matter what. I tell them every single day, reading is a lifelong skill. It doesn't matter if you like reading, it doesn't matter if you're a master reader at this level, you're gonna have to read the rest of your life, in real life. A lot of my kids, they want to be pro athletes. That's, the big thing. They all want to be football stars, basketball stars. I'm like, well, how are you going to read your contract someday if you're not able to read? You're going to get the big bucks. You got to be able to read that contract. Every single child, it doesn't matter. Like I said, I treat them like they're my own kids. So if I got mad at you yesterday, guess what? Today is a brand new day. We're starting over. It doesn't matter, what happened yesterday. Every single student, I'm going to do what I need for that student every single day in my room.
Charles A. Mint, Langham Creek High School, Physical Education Department Chair and Men's Basketball Coach.
My name is Charles A. Mint. I'm the head boys basketball coach at Langham Creek High School, and I am the department chair for health and PE as well. Our core value in PE is to make sure that you're active every day and try to find something that you enjoy to be active. A lot of times they don't know what they don't enjoy. A lot of kids want to stay within their own bubble. So we try to offer a variety of different things. Education has changed in regard to public service announcements, how important it is to be active and to be healthy. You see things like the NFL Play 60, where that is an advertisement in NFL games. Within that, how has it changed? The shorts are baggy, there's t-shirts, it's not the little short shorts like in the past. And ultimately, every day is trying to serve other people. When that's the one thing as a coach that it's not about you anymore. It's about trying to get the best out of the players, whether that's encouraging them, telling them they can't do it, but you really believe that they can, and finding those buttons to push so that you can get them to do things that they didn't think that they could.
Kate Stoneham, Lowry Elementary, speech pathologist.
We're not the teachers that get all the presents at Christmas. We're not the people that, you know, the kids maybe, even though you have them for a long time, they don't always remember you from year to year. You know, they may remember that third grade teacher or that fifth grade teacher, but we're always there and we're in the background. The little guys mostly come to us because they don't have language. So that's really exciting when you get to hear like somebody's very first word ever, like even for their parents, and you get to call home and tell them what their baby said today. People say like, well, how many kids do you have? I'm like, well, I don't have any personal children, but I have like, any given year I have like 50 kids. And they're like, well, gosh, do you know all their last names? I'm like, I know their last names, their mom and dad's names, their dog's names, their middle names, because then you can use it. You can use that middle name. You know, lots of things, their birthday, being a speech path is a unique situation because you have these kids over a long period of time, so you get to see those changes and you get to see how they turn from a 3-year-old into like a little person, you know, by the time they're 10 or 11, and that's exciting and rewarding, and that's why I keep coming back.
Sabrina Berard, Warner Elementary School, Life Skills.
Every day is awesome with my kids. They are my kids. They are my babies. I treat them like mine, like they're my kids. So their interest becomes my interest. I feel like I'm an advocate for them because I want the best for them at all times. I'm happy. I'm happy at my job. When I go in to see my kids every day at school, it's a joyous time. We don't wait until they do something big to celebrate the big things. We always celebrate the smallest things that they do. We have magnificent Mondays. We have wonderful Wednesdays, terrific Tuesdays, fantastic Fridays. And all of those things are wonderful, terrific, magnificent every day because they're there. And when they come, it's awesome. So every day is an awesome day.
Positive role model honorees, can you please stand so we can recognize you once again? Family members, colleagues, and supporters of these wonderful teachers, please stand so we can thank you for your support. Thank you. At this time, I'll ask Dr. Macias to come back to the podium.
Our next group of honorees represent the dimension of a lifelong learner. A CFISD teacher is a lifelong learner who exemplifies the spirit of continuous improvement by favorable attitude toward and wholehearted participation in activities which foster personal and professional development. Our first honoree in this group is Matthew Wells, Cypress Lakes High School, AP Environmental Science and Forensic Science.
I teach science with stories and experiences as much as I can. Science is always about asking questions, so I try to present my kids with something that's intriguing that they maybe haven't seen before, maybe some organism they've not seen before or some process in nature that is fascinating that they've never heard of. without really any explanation or instruction necessarily, because I want them to ask questions. And that's how science advances. And what I teach now is mostly juniors and seniors. So these are kids who have really already kind of figured out who they are. I feel like their goals, their dreams, they should still be wide open, even as a junior and a senior. So I feel like that's my job, is to try and keep that door open as long as possible, let them see a bit of the world, either through simulation or through real experimentation or through studying case studies or virtual field trips. You know, those kinds of experiences, I think, keep kids' minds open to what the future might hold for them.
From Goodson Middle School, Sharika Williams, 6th grade math teacher.
My favorite teacher was my geometry teacher. She was very, very patient. I was in a class of football players, and there was very few girls, and she never raised her voice. She was very, very, very patient. I just loved her. I'm very patient. I don't raise my voice because that doesn't get anything done. And so the kids know when I'm not happy just by my tone. My tone is not screaming. My tone is very direct. So yeah, I'm like my favorite teacher. I didn't realize that. It's the kids. I mean, the kids just make it better. You have some kids that they don't, let you know that they care or that they appreciate you, but I've had kids come back years later telling me that they appreciated everything that I did, that they learned better with me. And so things like that. The kids, it's all about the kids.
From Lambkin Elementary School, Elizabeth Sunti-Rarat, small group reading intervention teacher.
As a reading specialist, I get to go into the classrooms and I have my small groups of students. And, towards the beginning of the year, they're like, oh, reading groups. And then towards like November, December, they're like, oh, reading group. And me too. I'm like, yeah, let me get to my reading group. We come to the table and we sit and we work on our phonics or comprehension, whatever it is we're working on that day. And it's really great to just see the change in them. And I make sure that they feel some kind of success each time we're together. Because if I can get them to feel successful, then they'll look forward to the next time I'm coming. I do want them to feel successful every time, but it's not all unicorns and rainbows. Sometimes if they don't feel that success at the end of our little session, I'll help them figure out, okay, why was today not as successful as last week? And what is it that we could change for next time? Was it focus, effort, attitude? What is it? Was it focus? Okay, so next time, I'm gonna focus on your focus. I got you. Next time, we'll be together. Sit by me. So, whatever it is they need, that's what I try to give them. Sometimes it's reading skills, sometimes it's the focus, sometimes it's just the effort is worth it. Please, try again.
Beth Seiter from A. Robinson Elementary School, 5th grade science and technology liaison.
I actually started teaching through the ARIT program, the Reading Accelerated program, and then I moved to Robinson and started teaching 3rd grade math and science. But I will say 5th grade science is a whole new ballgame, and it's fun. It's fun and the kids really enjoy it. I really enjoy teaching science. I enjoy all the hands-on and the ahas that students have when they realize what it is that evaporation is, for example, what they really mean, and not just learning some fancy words as we like to call them. It's the same really with math, just the aha that finally comes through. My biggest thing is having high standards, setting goals for yourself. Many times students come in knowing I have high expectations. I make those expectations clear, but yet let them know I have high expectations because I know they can get there. I know that they can achieve that, and making them believe in themselves and reaching towards those goals. It's very fulfilling to know that my job really in a way shapes the future. The students that I'm teaching are going to become citizens in the real world as adults, and knowing that I'm helping to train them, helping them learn how to set goals, reach their goals, and really reach forward and strive for what they need. It's exciting to know that I'm helping people be successful in the world. It's exciting.
Lifelong Learner honorees, please stand so that we can recognize you one more time. Family members, colleagues, or supporters of these honorees, please also stand so you can be recognized. Thank you. Our final group of honorees represent the dimension of a team player. A CFISD team player is a team player who cooperates with others for the group's benefit, striving to solve problems by analyzing all pertinent data, listening to and valuing others' viewpoints, and actively seeking consensus. From Horn Elementary School, Tennille Reinoke, second grade reading and language arts teacher.
At second grade, they really see a transition from picture books to chapter books, and so seeing them be able to learn to read more difficult books is amazing because they go from seeing pictures in the books to books that don't have as many pictures, and so they're really growing in their reading. I use different methods to try to encourage them to read, and I think it comes from teacher excitement as well. And so my students, during reading, they read on the floor or they read different places with stuffed animals, with pillows, to try to excite them for that time, because it's a 45-minute period for a second grader is kind of a long time, but involving some novelty in it kind of helps. In my classroom, I do try to create that positive environment. I greet the students each day, making sure that they know that they're welcome. If they've been out for a while, I remind them, hey, we missed you, I'm glad you're back today. And they know that they can come tell me things, or they can open up to me, or they know in my classroom that they'll be accepted by all their classmates and me as well. I would say seeing the students learn and finally get things. Like, you can teach the same student the same lesson 3 times, but that 4th time might be the charm, and they might finally get it, and when they get it, they'll let you know.
Lawanda Nikki Williams from Kirk Elementary School, life skills teacher.
When you think of children with special needs or severe disabilities, people think that they can't, and I like to prove people wrong. I've had kids that are nonverbal and that are behavioral kids, and to see them using sentences and communicating with their parents, even if it's just 2 to 3 words, to me, that's amazing. Last year, I presented at the Technology Festival, and I was the first and only life skills teacher to have my kids present there. But we had them using voice output devices to answer questions, and they actually did the PowerPoint themselves, just with a little modeling. So just so other people can see, hey, these kids are capable. You just have to give them a chance. I don't see disability, I see capability. So someone needs to be their advocate, and I feel like that's me.
From Lee Elementary School, Rita Kurashi.
I love teaching math. It's really a passion. When I see my kids and they come in and they're not very excited about math, it's like a goal for me. I know there's students coming from all different kinds of backgrounds, and some students it's not fun coming to school, and I want to change that. Growing up, I was very shy, and I didn't like asking questions. I felt like other students would laugh at me, and would say things like, if a student makes mistakes, the whole class says, "You're so cool," and another friend would help them out. So it just just to build their confidence, and I think it makes them more comfortable. They feel like they can come ask questions when they want, and around October, when they accidentally call me mommy, I know that I've reached in a part of their heart where they feel comfortable enough to come to me and ask me anything they want. For me, it's when they come to school, I don't ever want them to be afraid of asking questions. I want them mid-year to be so excited that when they come in, they're like, "Oh yes, I'm here. It's math class." I don't see myself ever teaching anything else but math and science.
Congratulations, Rita. From Metcalf Elementary School, Dora Zanelli, first grade self-contained.
I came from Colombia about 20 years ago with my daughter, searching for a better life. And it was her struggle with learning the language what motivated me to become a teacher. And they call it a bilingual program because the teacher knew some Spanish, but it was 100% English. So she used to come home crying. And I decided to go and talk to her teacher. And she embraced us. She used to give me materials, tools to help me teach my daughter. So in the way we both learned English together. 6 months later, she was speaking English. It took me a little bit longer. So when a kid comes to my classroom, I told them, it doesn't matter what you heard before. This is a new beginning every year. This is a new beginning. You are gonna be fine. You're gonna make it. This is an atmosphere, environment where you feel safe, where you can take risks, where you feel secure, where you feel value, love, and that's what we do every day. That's what I do every day, my kids.
Gwendolyn Fontenette from Postma Elementary School, third grade, math and science.
They're an interesting bunch. They're awesome. They really are. I mean, they're really sweet. They make you laugh every day. And like, I talk about my grandmother all the time because, she's my grandmother. And so every problem that I do on the board has to do with Mary. So one day I wrote a problem on the board and I used a different name. And they were like, well, what are you doing? You didn't talk about Mary. So, I mean, it just means a lot that they always talk about her too. It just keeps her there for me. I read the other day and they were talking about how teaching is like teaching a child how to ride a bike. And you hold on to them and you teach them how to do it and then you let the handlebars go, and then they can do it a little bit on their own. And then sooner or later, they're just doing it on their own and you can see that they're excited and they go on. I don't want anybody to fail. So my assistant principal, she always say, well, Gwen, okay. Like if we doing like the percentages for a test and they have like one kid that did bad, she'll be like, well, Gwen, I don't want you to get upset. It's really good, it'll be okay. But I take it very personal. So that's what it means to me. I want everyone to succeed or feel like they're succeeding. Even if they don't make the grade that everybody thinks they should make, if they see that they're doing better, then that's what it means. I think it's
Chuck Carlson, Tips Elementary School, 5th grade, math and science.
We just had paper-wide basketball for March Madness. I do that every year. With the basketball, they're working at a station and they're solving problems. and when they've got their problem solved, they'll get to go and shoot like 3 paper wads into the trash can. And their next stationers are coming with me, working in a small group, and then they're rotating around. Then at the end, they're tallying up how many shots they've made, so then they can make a fraction and simplify it on how many they made versus how many they shot. They're working independent for about 10 minutes, and then I give them about 6 minutes to come up with a little putt-putt design. They'll turn in their design, and I'll kind of look at them to see what I can build and what I don't want to build, and then I'll put them out there and I'll build them the next day. They'll get to work on problems, and then their next station will be to do putt-putt golf for like that section, which is 10 minutes long or so, and then they move on to the next station. So it switches off so that during the whole class, someone is playing golf. It's not the same kids, they're just flip-flopping. Maybe I'm just a stickler, but if you're not, you work before you play, and if you're not getting the work done, you don't get to play.
And from Woodard Elementary School, Liz Skinner, 2nd grade math and science teacher.
I know the students feel the love that we have. We have a culture there already, even though we're a new school. I have a daughter, a grown daughter, and I have 3 grandchildren, but those are my babies. I have 40 kids in my class this year, 20 in the morning and 20 in the afternoon, and every single one of them are so special, and they know it. They know I love them. It's not a job to me. It's fun. It's my passion. It's what I wanted to. It's what I wanted to do since I was in elementary school, and this is where I need to be. I'm a classroom teacher. It's where I want to be, and I thank God every day for that.
Team player honorees, please stand so we can recognize you one more time. And family members, colleagues, and supporters of one of these awesome teachers, please also stand to be recognized. Thank you. This year, we had a special treat for 4 lucky Spotlight teachers. We had 4 teachers who were chosen to be recipients of a full tuition scholarship, for a Master of Arts in Teaching at the Relay Graduate School of Education. These scholarships are being sponsored by Raise Your Hand Texas. Scholarship winners, when I call your names, please stand to be recognized. And audience, please hold your applause until all 4 have been announced. Lansing Brown from Carlton Center, Robin Banks from Millsap Elementary, Kimberly Patton from Emmett Elementary, and Joan Pearson from Hamilton Middle School. Congratulations. Let's give another round of applause to all of our 2016 Spotlight teachers. Thank you.
Thank you very much for being here this evening, and I would be remiss, of course, y'all had the opportunity to enjoy these little 1-minute vignettes on all of our honorees, but there were literally hundreds of hours that went into the production of those, and we're fortunate today to have such a great communications department. And our CFISD cinema team sitting over here, y'all stand up, put all of this together over the last few weeks. And we certainly appreciate your hard work. I know there were many long nights, and I don't know if y'all remember, but we had a flood this year. So that put them behind a little bit also, so thank you for your work. And also our trustees over here. You may not know this, but if you don't know it, there are over 1,000 school districts in the state of Texas, and they won the award this year for the Outstanding School Board in the state of Texas. So certainly we're proud of those. board members, and I don't know, maybe I am sucking up a little, I don't know, but I'm proud of the trustees and the volunteers we have there. And just a couple of things. Our theme this year was Every Student, Every Day. And if you go from life skills and PPCD through general ed all the way to AP, you can see that Cypher ISD is looking out for every student every day. And, you know, only universal public education, we're the only ones that claim to do that. Charter schools, private schools, home schools, no one else does that. We're the only one that takes all kids and loves them. And you could see the care and concern that our teachers have on a daily basis, and made me want to go back to school just watching the work that you do. And next year, and I'm kind of rolling this out, and I may get in trouble from Roy and Teresa and some of the other associates back here, but we're going to move next year from Every Student, Every Day this year into Opportunity for All. And I think I saw that today in the vignettes, that truly Cypher ISD gives every child in this community the opportunity to succeed. Now, I would love to say that we bat 1,000 and everyone chooses to take advantage. They don't all do that, but we try, and we do give opportunity to every student. So Philip said something at the very start on his video that just hit me. He said, you know, the award ought to be split into 62 other pieces because there's so many people behind the scenes that deserve credit, and I know our teachers feel that way. There's so many parents and administrators and aides and other people that stand behind them every day to help them be successful, and of course family and friends that do the same. So I'm proud to be in Cypher ISD, teachers, our honorees. I congratulate you, and I look forward next fall to when we'll have our little spotlight banquet and celebrate you again. Everyone have a great evening and drive safe. Thank you.
Please enjoy the reception in the foyer.